Wonder what's going on in the Hooniverse today. Oh, lovely. Disney Plus accidentally leaked a new trailer. I wonder what happens in it. Oh, that's just your normal trailer. What's that? Poles! Wait, ignoring the poles for a second, but that other shot. That's the shot of Shooty screaming into space. But isn't that the memory TARDIS? Hello Internet, welcome to Who Theory, where I've given myself the task of coming up with a funny cold open every video, a decision which I'm already starting to regret on the second one. Just kidding, you need to pad the runtime somehow. That's what I would be saying if these videos didn't take so long to edit. Speaking of which, let's finish that up before the theory's debunked, eh? Or even better, bunked. So, to clear up some questions before we get into the theory, what is the memory TARDIS and why is its appearance in this trailer such a big deal? To answer the first question, the memory TARDIS was a version of the TARDIS from Tales of the TARDIS, a spin-off made for the 60th anniversary in which old Doctors, companions and Clyde from the Sarah Jane Adventures would reunite and recount stories of their travels together, which, according to the 5th Doctor, were what fed the ship. As for why its being in this trailer is important, all the early ones go to the effort of replacing it with the 15th Doctor's normal TARDIS interior, meaning it's probably a big plot point that the production team wanted hiding, similar to how the 60th trailers replaced the background of this shot of Shooty to hide the fact that he was with 14. Presumably we weren't meant to see the real shot until the episode airs, which is probably why Disney has since taken down the video. So, as the 15th Doctor once said,
"Someone tell me what the hell is going on here?"
Yes, I will. Or at least attempt to. To figure out why the Doctor's screaming out of the memory TARDIS, we'll start by going through everything we know about it. For starters, it's able to pull the Doctor and friends out of their time streams at any point, and even from alternate timelines, as evidenced by some of the Doctor's more aged appearances, and explained by the 7th Doctor when he tells Ace,
Time streams are funny things, and some I regenerate, and others I don't. It's all a matter of perspective.
when asked why he looks older. Secondly, it feeds on stories and memories seemingly being very important to it, as it also has the ability to return them to those who've lost them, just so that they can tell its stories. Evidenced by Jamie and Zoe, both of whom had their memories of the Doctor wiped by the Time Lords after his fourth regeneration in the War Games, but instantly remember as they enter the ship in Tales of the TARDIS. The 6th Doctor explains that this is possible because
TARDIS never forgets.
in addition to this, it's shown to have the power to bring people from your memories back from the dead when Jo brings back her late husband Cliff, although this is most likely just within its own bounds. Most importantly, however, it also has the ability to return items from its occupants' memories, like Adric's star in Earthshock and, a feather. So, if these are the abilities of the memory TARDIS, what actually created it and for what purpose? Oh yeah, and what about the seemingly innocent concept of a place to tell stories is making the Doctor scream his head off into the void of space? This is where it gets interesting, and I believe that these things are linked. Over the past few stories, the TARDIS has faced a bit of a battering, flux, the disruption of time at the Temple of Atropos from Donna's coffee while Blue Yonder, so there are quite a few things that could have messed with it a bit, but I don't think that any of these events are actually what made it into what we see in Tales. The disruption of time at Atropos would seem like the most likely cause for a TARDIS to experience memory-related problems, but that seems to have been mostly resolved in either of the Daleks, and it probably wasn't Donna's coffee either, as the TARDIS didn't look like that after it repaired itself at the end of Wild Blue Yonder. So what could have done it? Well, what did the 5th Doctor say the memory TARDIS was good for? Therapy. Who just retired to go into therapy? The 14th Doctor. What if the memory TARDIS isn't a broken version of the real TARDIS, but a projection of the 14th Doctor's mind, created to help him relive and get over painful memories by recounting them to his most faithful companion, the TARDIS herself, made real by his psychic link to his actual TARDIS? The fact that it was made real by his mind is also why he and other versions of himself can access it from any time or place, like a physical version of the 12th Doctor's Mind Palace from Heaven Sent. But how can the companions get there too? Well, simply because they travelled in the TARDIS, they too would have a psychic bond with it, allowing them to be taken there as well when they too need help. Clyde finally deciding to ask Rani out, Ace finally being able to talk to her doctor again after she left him on rough terms, the list goes on. But if its purpose is just therapy, why would it have provoked this visceral of a reaction from 15? The 15th Doctor seems to have largely got over his major traumas in life. All but one, that is. In the church on Ruby Road, he mentioned the fact that he was abandoned as a child when asked by Carla, through a slightly melancholy smile, not really wanting to talk about it in much depth, suggesting that while he was able to get over almost all of his problems in his 14th incarnation, he may not, it appears, have fully come to terms with the revelation that he's the timeless child, his memories wiped by division. But what's one of the abilities of the memory TARDIS? Restoring lost memories. But I don't think that's what would actually happen. I doubt the Doctor will ever get those memories back, to be honest, as it would have such big repercussions on the character as a whole. And the memories were wiped so thoroughly even from the Matrix, I doubt the TARDIS would even be able to restore them anyway, as it wasn't there during that part of the Doctor's life. Instead, we have to look to another one of the abilities of the memory TARDIS, returning items from your past. In The Vanquishers, after the Doctor retrieved the fob watch containing the lost memories of her timeless incarnations, she stowed it away in the furthest depths of the TARDIS, meaning it's still in the TARDIS's possession. So maybe the reason 15 is screaming into space is because the memory TARDIS has recreated the fob watch and returned it to him, refusing to let him go until he's told its story. In short, the memory TARDIS was a benevolent creation intended to help the Doctor cope with his past, but simply misunderstood what he needed, unintentionally becoming harmful in the process, as it won't let the Doctor leave until he opens the watch and regains his forgotten past. How then will this connect to the larger series? Well, when the Doctor brought up his past as the timeless child in the church on Ruby Road, it was in relation to Ruby's own status as a foundling, so it's most likely that this plot point would be implemented to help further emotionally connect the Doctor and Ruby, to help the Doctor know how she's feeling about her own life, and to know how to further support her. RTD's comments also seem to support this, as he stated that while the timeless child will be the backbone of the show going forwards, he wants to focus more on its emotional impact on the character than the more sci-fi elements of it. But hey, that's just a theory. A Doctor Who theory. Thanks for watching.